Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. We have a good one for everyone. We have the last lottery ticket off the reel of Extreme Green, number 59, the last ticket they had. Hopefully we get lucky. Today we have a good video for everyone on fractional silver and fractional gold, which I think a lot of you will enjoy this. I know it interests a lot of people, because we're going to tell the story of the $12 quarter, and maybe this will help people understand how badly they're being fucked. First, I'm going to start off with the gold and silver explanation, then we'll get into scratch-offs. Let's start with the $12 quarter. So this here is a silver quarter before 1964, so we're talking a pile of silver quarters. Now, a lot of people would say, like, should you invest in fractional gold, fractional silver? And personally, I reluctantly bought this pile of quarters for $200 when prices were cheaper. I'm not a huge fan of buying change just because it feels fucked up that I'm paying, I think at the time I was paying like $5 or something. I don't remember. I think I bought these for like $200. They're now like around $500. So roughly each quarter, so think about it. In 1964, you got a real silver quarter. Now, you get, this is like a $10 bill essentially, a $12 bill, if it existed. That I do like fractional silver in this case. Now, they do pay back on spot. The only thing I don't like is it's 90% and it has to be refined. It doesn't have to be, but I prefer to buy 999 silver over anything because you're not taking any risks of refineries shutting down. You have the physical shit in your hand. So I usually prefer going with the 999 silver, but I also have the budget to go with the 999 silver. So, but if you don't, these are not bad ways to transfer your wealth. And I mean to obviously keep an eye out to see if you find any that are pre-64. They're very tough to come by nowadays. Very rarely do you see them. But there's really no difference than carrying this in your pocket over a $10 bill. And I mean, granted, you would have to go to a shop or something and exchange it. Most people would be like, well, that's a quarter, you know. But in reality, you're sitting on $12. And this is why they just completely got rid of silver quarters, because this was the real money. And this is why it feels like you're being scammed, because this quarter that was 25 cents is now $12. $12 in 2025, which is mind-boggling when you think about it, when you work for the money. Like, how is there not a riot in America over this stuff? I'll never understand it, how people don't see the full picture, or if they do, there's just not enough people to riot. I don't know, but like, people freaked out about the British Tea Party of getting taxed a little bit. Like, we have been ultimately double, triple, quadruple taxed, fucked, and still no riots. It's mind-boggling. So, that's the story on the $12 quarter and how that became to exist. And I think we're going to see a day and age where these become $30 quarters, $40 quarters. So they're not a bad thing to hold, because they're easy to exchange. Everyone would know, like, okay, well, that is a pre-64 quarter. It's worth roughly, like $10 to most people, because they're not going to get full price. So, like, really, these are just like a bunch of $10 bills, essentially. And I bought them, like I said, around the 200 range, because someone really just wanted to get rid of them. And yeah, like, the pile is already roughly $500, which is crazy. I understand some places you're going to pay back on spot. But so now we're going to get into fractional gold. Not my favorite thing in the world. I'm not a huge fan of fractional gold, just because I would rather you just get silver. But fractional gold isn't bad if you are on a budget. This is a 1 gram PAMP. I mean, they're another nice thing for exchanging. I mean, like, everyone knows they're roughly between like 160, 170. If gold does get some massive financial surge, where they revalue gold to like $30,000 an ounce, that's why I say to kind of be in both of them. Because, like, if they do that, this little piece of $150 gold's going to be $1,000, $2,000 piece of gold. So, I mean, if they ever revalue gold higher, which there's probably a decent chance of that happening, even your fractional gold will go up a lot. It's very easy to exchange. Most dealers prefer to buy this from you over a gold bar because it's just more easier to move. So fractional gold is nice. I would say if you're a fractional gold collector, to not really go above like 2.5 grams. Usually the 1 gram is good to stick at, but like the 2.5 gram bars, they tend to be faked a little more. So that is a risk you take. But yeah, I mean, fractional gold altogether, not a terrible idea, but only if you really get it at spot price. I wouldn't pay any extra premiums for it. Especially when you can just buy silver. So that's the difference. It's good to have a little bit of both because, like I said, if you're in a restaurant or somewhere or go anywhere and you want to just tip someone like $10, it's like, hey, here's a quarter, but it's 64. You can tell them the story on it and, tell them, hey, this is actually $10. Go take it to your coin shop, and that person is excited. So, what's my bird doing? But anyway, so we're going to do some scratch offs, and hopefully we get lucky. We're going to save the best ticket for last, and let's see what we get. We're going to scratch it off with a quarter. No bonus. 28, 26. And let's see what we get. Well, we got a 6, and of course we get a 9. Not the numbers we're looking for. $22. Don't worry, this isn't the lucky one anyway. It's the other one we're hoping for. Did we get 26? Oh, we got 26. Damn. Okay, so we got screwed on that one. Here's the main course, the main appetizer, the last lucky ticket. I swear this one was the lucky one. So we're going to see what happens there. I'm going to speed scratch it for you guys so I get this episode finished up. But, yeah, Funk, I do agree with the 70-30 split on to gold to silver. I mean, that is a good idea. Don't get me wrong. The 70-30 or the 50-50 is not bad. Either one, honestly. Like, I understand why people do the 70-30 because you're hoping for the bullish run on silver. And I mean, I'm right with you. I do think that's a great idea. The only reason I recommend a 50-50 split on the channel, and we just lost, is mainly because of, in case gold gets revalued, that you want to kind of be in that as well, even though silver will probably get revalued if that happens too. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I personally believe there's way more gains to be had in silver because it's so cheap still. But with gold, it's like, if it gets massively revalued to like $100,000 an ounce or something crazy happens like that, at least you're 50-50 to get the rewards and gains from both. Or let's say just gold gets it, and for some god-awful reason, silver doesn't go up, which I highly ever doubt is not gonna happen. But that you're at least 50% of the gold gains, 50% of your silver gains, and then if they both take off, like what I think will happen, you're 50-50 in both. So I mean, you're probably gonna miss out on the crazy more silver gains if you put that extra 20% into gold. But at the same time, if you have that 20% into gold and gold gets crazily revalued and silver just goes up a little bit, then, you're kind of leveraged in a good spot. That's the only reason why I recommend the 50-50, which I understand is not like what most people would say, because I personally, I do agree with 70-30. I think that's probably your best bet. But I just said the 50-50 to err on the side of caution. Because if I'm going to give people invested advice in my channel, I would rather pick the least cautious route of saying to go 50-50. That's the only reason I say that. The 70-30 is a nicer option if you're extremely bullish on silver, like I am. I do agree the 70-30 is probably the better route because if they both, like let's say gold goes down but silver goes up, then you're losing on gold but you're gaining on silver, so you're trying to make those gains up with your silver, the money you lost from gold. Not saying either one will go down anytime soon, but you are trying to make up any gains you lost. But the 50-50 split, I like the 50-50 split, and I'll explain why. Is if gold gets revalued, you win, but if silver it just explodes, so like with gold, if it goes down a little bit or just stays the same, okay, let's say gold doesn't move but silver explodes. With gold, you're at least sitting on that, you're at least sitting, oh, easy guys, hey, easy. But so you're at least sitting on that. So let's say this doesn't gain. Well, if you put 20 grand and 20 grand in each, you basically are sitting on gold that didn't go up, but your silver went up massively. So it's like you didn't really lose anything on gold, but you only bought 6 ounces of gold. With 20K, you're buying like 300 ounces of silver, 350 ounces of silver. So you're only like really sitting there on 6 ounces of gold, but you're having like 300 ounces of pure silver just skyrocketing in value. So that's the only reason why I recommend the 50-50 split. I like that the best, but I understand 70-30 100%. And the choice is yours on that, what you decide to do. Let me know what you guys think about the $12 quarter. Do you just think we're all basically just financial debt slaves at this point? Let me know in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. We're out.